Good afternoon everyone, and welcome to my Thursday tips and tricks. My name is Lucia Byzantine and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. You're catching me here live on Facebook, but I do also post these to YouTube as well. So if you would like to catch up, there are some others also on YouTube as well. As you hop on, do say hi. We'd love to know who's here and where you're from, and have a little chat as well. Today I am continuing on with my markers and just showing you some other ways of using them again. So I do this all the time. Okay, back again. And telling you a bit more about them as well. And the reason why I've been showing markers for the past few weeks is because we do have a celebration going at the moment. And with celebration, one of the join offers is that you pay the normal amount to join, which is $169. You do get to choose $285 worth of products from any of the catalogues, online exclusives, clearance rack, whatever you like. But then you've got two options. So you can either choose 2 packs of Stampin' markers. Now each pack of Stampin' markers have got 10 markers in them. So you're looking at over $60 worth of value for each packet. So it's over $120. And you also get a stamp set as well. Good afternoon, Joan, how are you? And then the second option is you can choose an additional $51. So if you're on the fence about joining Stampin' Up at the moment, it's actually a really good time to join. Stampin' Up's a great time to join, but any time is a good time to join, because like I said, it is $169 normally, and you do get $235 worth of product. And once you've joined, you join the beautiful Stampin' Up community. But the other thing is you also get 20% off. So that sort of does help with our crafting addictions that some of us might have. So what I might do is turn you around and we will get on with what we were doing. So I did also want to say that with Celebration, there are some new products that they've added to it as well. The new products are products from the, I'm thinking most of them are probably from the annual catalogue. So there's a couple of kits, a couple of 3 stamps, a couple of dies, some punches, and then some ribbon, and the brushed brass butterflies were there as well, which I thought were a really good thing to have. Always nice to have little embellishments to use. Now, do you know what I haven't done? Is let's get a little bit closer. We're a bit too far away. You don't need to see my lap and basket and everything that's beside me here. So one thing I don't know whether I have actually told you about the Stampin' markers. I think I did tell you about the tips. So you do have a brush tip and you do have a bullet tip, which is the other end there. But if you're not sure which end to use or which end is which, there are 2 lines at each end that go round the markers. The thick line is your brush tip and the thin line is your bullet tip. I know some people have sometimes had the markers for a while and haven't even realised that that's there. And there is also a little illustration as well of the bullet tip and the brush tip as well on the end. But those thick and thin lines are a good way of seeing which end is which as well. Good afternoon, Jackie. I hope you're well. And hello, Renee. So like I said, I am going to show you a few things. Now, some of them are a little bit of repeats as well, but I did also want to show you comparisons also. So let's start off with the photopolymer. So I'm going to colour the photopolymer, and when we're using the markers we can do all different colours on things as well. And I think might have been a couple of weeks ago I did the mushrooms, and I did the stalks of the mushrooms by just colouring it. And I did tell you that with the photopolymer it does end up a little bit, it's not as crisp and it's not as clear. Now with the stalk of the mushroom it didn't really worry me that much because that is the effect I was looking for. But if you're doing this, and I went through all my stamps and I did not realise how many stamps I have now that are photopolymer. I am definitely a red rubber girl, have always been a red rubber girl. I even used to go the wooden mount stamps because I liked the wooden mount stamps better as well. And that's just me, that's probably just being a little old-fashioned as well, I don't know. But I always felt they just gave a clearer, better image. So what I'm doing here is just, you can colour each letter a different colour as well. I'm just going to do a little bit of an ombre effect. So I am using Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. But I do just want to show you the difference in this and the red rubber. So I'm just going to huff on this and stamp. Now I think I've actually missed a little bit colouring in there too. But can you see, funny how I've got best, can you see how it's not the best? It's just a little bit blotchy. And it kind of didn't matter how I coloured it in. Like here was another try. And they still end up, it just sort of misses a little bit. And like I said, wasn't quite what I was looking for. So then, if we go to our red rubber, and like I said, this is just for a comparison for you, so that you can actually see the difference. And if you were doing markers direct to your stamp, I would always recommend the red rubber over the photopolymer. And like I said, it just, I've even cleaned that photopolymer stamp again just to make sure, because sometimes with the finishing on it, it doesn't, the ink doesn't adhere to it as well. So when you are using any stamp, not just photopolymer, even the red rubber, make sure you do cure your stamp first. So to cure your stamp, all you have to do is ink it up, stamp it, and then clean it. So as long as you get some of that finishing off it, you probably don't even have to ink it up, probably if you just clean it, but I do always just ink it up as well first, and then clean it off and stamp with it. And you find that those next images that you stamp, whether it's the photopolymer, especially with the photopolymer though, but whether it's the photopolymer or the red rubber, it is always better once you have cured those stamps. So you kind of think, you know, I used to think it was a bit of a waste of time, but it does actually make a huge difference. So again, I'm just going to huff on this. So what I'm just doing is just breathing heavily on it and then stamping down. So what the huffing is doing is just moistening the ink, because if it has been there a while, it can dry up a little bit. But can you see how that one, we're not missing anything, like it is all inking up beautifully. And like I said, I just didn't have many solid red rubber ones to show you with. So like I said, I did realise that I am lacking red rubber in my inventory. And that's even after, like I said, I was always, red rubber is my preferred stamp to stamp with. So like I was saying, there was that kind of thing. So that was that one. They were those two. But if we go the red rubber here, we might just do two colours for this. So with this, we can actually colour each each letter a different colour. And you can do this when you're colouring stamps too. So if you've got stamps that, and you know what, I don't think I've used this stamp before, so this will be interesting to see how it does ink up. Now I've forgotten what I was going to say. Completely lost my train of thought, sorry. Hello Nan, how are you? Lovely to have you with us. I think I missed you yesterday. Oh no, I think I was on. I can't remember. Honestly, I cannot remember what I've done lately. I have just come back from a market this morning, and here it's now 34 degrees. So it was a very, very hot one, I must admit. Yeah, so like I said, that's pretty good considering that I haven't cured that stamp yet at all. No, do you know what, Jackie? I really, like I said, I so much prefer the red rubber. And when I look at my stamp sets I have at the moment, I think I pulled out only about 5 that I have that are the cling stamps, which are these ones here. I do find that the photopolymer ones, now especially for this technique, without ink, not so bad, but I still do prefer, like I said, I just do think that the red rubber does ink up so much nicer. You do get a clearer, crisper image. So when you are using, which I didn't do actually, when you are using your photopolymer stamps, it is recommended that you use the piercing mat under it. So what the piercing mat is doing, because if you're looking at your photopolymer stamps, you've got nothing behind there as the cushioning, whereas when you're looking at our red rubber stamps, you've got that little layer of foam there, which I'm sure must help as well as the material it's made of. So if you're using your piercing mat, it's giving you that little bit of cushioning because this is nice and soft. So you do get a better image when you use your photopolymer stamps with a piercing mat. So that's definitely a another good tip with the photopolymer as well. Good afternoon, Patty. How are you? Now, like I said, I honestly do not have many stamps. I was going through my stamps and I had nothing that had that we could colour in that was a sentiment. So this stamp set here, I'm sorry, is a stamp set that demonstrators can purchase. So it's mainly a business building stamp set, this one. But I just thought this one was a really good one to show you that you can do just, oh, sorry. Drop that completely on the floor. And of course it went all the way under my desk. So with this, now with a lot of mine, like I said, I have still got the older style markers. So the older style markers, like I was saying, the bullet tip on the older style markers is more like a biro, whereas the new ones, it's a proper bullet tip. So you could colour in something as thin as this, but if you're looking at the older style, it's this kind of thing. So I am actually using the brush end to colour these in. So like I said, we are going right back to basics with some of this. But it just gives you another way that you can use your markers then. Because I've also seen people watercolouring with them as well. So I might look into that a little bit more, and we might do that next week. But I do have to perfect what I'm doing a little bit more if I'm going to do that. So that's just the colouring in then. So then you can get sort of every single letter a completely different colour as well. And like I said, even if you've got images, and I could have done it with something like this too, you could colour your flowers in with your Stamp Right markers as well, remembering they don't blend. But the Stampin'Up markers do look really lovely with the watercolour pencils as well. So you can use them in conjunction. So like I said, next week I think we'll do that, and we'll use these in conjunction with the watercolour pencils, because I think that would be a nice look. Now let me see if I've forgotten anything. The other thing I saw too, and again, I just could not find a stamp that could do it, but if we looked at something like this stamp here, I have seen people where they've stamped that in black memento, and then they've actually just coloured the whole image in black, so you get a silhouette look. So you could do that beautiful watercolour background that we had done, probably the first or second week, and then stamp that on top and just colour it all in black, so you've got that silhouette. So again, like I said, next week we'll do a little bit of colouring and use that. The create in colours, isn't that brilliant? Like, I love that. I've done that for some team members when I have made the cards with designer series paper. So then you can match it up to your designer series paper as well, which is really lovely, because that's the whole point. When you're making your own cards, you can actually make them all nice and individual and create them so that they all coordinate as well. And Stampin'Up, that's the one thing that they do beautifully, is their coordination, because everything does. And like I said, that was the thing that probably got me into Stampin'Up in the first place, was the coordination that they do, and everything matches. So don't know whether many of you know, but I was a dressmaker in a previous life, so I do like things to match really nicely as well. So if you are ordering, remember celebration. $100 order does get you some great new things that are on there as well at the moment. Like I said, there's a couple of the kits. There's a houseplant kit and the Hooray for Honeycomb kit. There's the Bee Builder Punch and the Happy Labels Picker Punch. I think the Alphabet a la Mode dies are actually unavailable at the moment, but the Trusty Tool dies are there. And the stamps are Planted Paradise, Beautiful Butterflies, and Natural Botanicals are there as well. So if you do order, I do have a host code going for this month. Yeah, I used to do wedding dresses, to be quite honest. So me too, dressmaker Jackie. Yeah, I used to, that was my full-time job. I used to make wedding dresses and alter them as well. And it was probably more fun making them from scratch, I think, than altering them. Altering them was always a bit, I think the brides used to get more panicky than I did when altering them, because they would see their dress sometimes in pieces, which must be really hard to take, I think, when you've paid an awful lot of money for your wedding dress. But that is it for today. Like I said, next Thursday I will do some actual colouring, and I'll see if I can get some watercolouring happening as well with that. So like I said, I'll have to learn a new technique as well for next week. Have a lovely week, stay cool. I know here in Melbourne it's still going to get nice and hot all of this week as well, and I will be back again on Monday. We might do some Valentine's Day on Monday, so do join me Monday for a lovely Valentine's Day card. Thank you everyone for watching, much appreciated, and I will catch you all on Monday. Thank you.